Now that we know how to expand binomials, let's take a look at something like this. X plus 3 squared. So to expand this, we can just rewrite this in a form that we can expand. X plus 3 squared is the same as x plus 3 times x plus 3. So now we can expand this. X times x is x squared. 3x plus 3x is 6x. And 3 times 3 is 9. Same thing if we have a minus sign here. X minus 2 squared is the same as x minus 2 times x minus 2. So this will be x squared minus 2x minus 2x is minus 4x. Negative 2 times negative 2 is plus 4. So we can always do it that way, but there is a shortcut here that you may have noticed. Because these two numbers are the same, when we expand, because it's squared, there is a pattern we can use. If you look here, x plus 3 squared, we always start with an x squared. Then the number in front of the x is 2 times this number here. So it went from 3 to 6, negative 2 to negative 4. And then the last number by itself is this number squared. So let's see if we can do this example now in one step. X plus 4 squared. First it's x squared, then plus 2 times 4 is 8x, plus 4 squared is 16. X plus 6 squared is x squared, plus 2 times 6 is 12x, plus 6 squared is 36. If we have a minus here, it is x squared. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10x. Negative 5 squared is positive 25. So here is the formula for what we've been doing. A plus b squared, if a and b are just the two terms that we have in these positions, equals a squared. So for x, it's x squared plus 2ab. So if you look at, say, x plus 6 squared, we have 12x. That's 2 times x times 6 plus b squared plus this number squared. And if we have minus, then it's the same thing, except 2 times the negative number. We'll make it a negative here as well. A minus b squared equals a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So this plus minus symbol means that if it's plus here, it's plus there. If it's minus here, it's minus there. So this is the important formula. All right, now the reason we need that formula is because now we don't just start with an x. We start with a number in front of the x. So let's use this formula to do it in one step, instead of having to expand it like we did in the beginning. The first term is a squared. So 2x squared, that's 2 squared is 4, times x squared. Plus 2ab, so plus 2 times 2x times 3. 2 times 2x is 4x, times 3 is 12x, plus b squared. So plus 3 squared will be plus 9. Now let's do one with a minus. 3x minus 4 squared. A squared will be 3x squared. That's 9 times x squared minus 2ab. So minus 2 times 3x times 4. 2 times 3x is 6x times 4 is 24x plus b squared. So plus 16. In case you're confused, the a and b here only refer to the terms and the numbers, not the sign in front of them. So b here is not negative 4. It's just 4. All right, let's do another one. 6x squared is 36 times x squared minus 2 times 6x times 1 plus 2 times 6x plus 1 will be 12x plus 1 squared is 1. Let's do another one with a negative. 8x minus 2 squared. 8x squared is 64 times x squared minus 2 times 8x times 2. Not negative 2 because the b is only this 2 here. 2 times 8x is 16x times 2 is 32x. 2 squared is 4. So all of the signs are separated from the terms because in the formula, that's how it's written. The formula gives the signs in front of the variables. So you just follow that. A plus b squared, they're all positive. A minus b squared, if you have a minus in the original binomial, then it's a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. All right, let's throw in a fraction. 1/2 x squared. 1/2 squared is 1/4 x squared minus 2 times 1/2 x times 3. 2 times 1/2 x is x times 3 is 3x plus 3 squared is 9. And now let's put a negative in front of the original binomial. And we know that when we have that, we just want to keep that there separate from everything else, which we're going to put in parentheses to separate it. 9x squared is 81x squared plus 2 times 9x times 2 will be plus 36x plus 2 squared is 4. But now we have to distribute the negative to everything. So everything will become negative. Negative 81x squared minus 36x minus 4. All right, and now let's have a number sitting in front of here, and we'll make this binomial negative as well. So keep the negative 5 separated, put everything else in parentheses. 3x squared is 9x squared minus 2 times 3x times 10, that's 60x, plus 10 squared is plus 100. And now distribute the negative 5. Negative 5 times 9x squared is negative 45x squared. Negative 5 times negative 60x is plus 300x. Negative 5 times 100 is negative 500. All right, so this is one shortcut. Of course, with any of these, you could always do what we did originally. Just expand it out like this and then multiply each term by each term. But this is definitely a lot faster to use this formula. Now there are a couple more very important shortcuts. So let's start by just expanding things as we normally do. So if we have something like this, x times x is x squared. Negative 3x plus 3x, that will be 0x. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, and we can get rid of the plus 0x. Here we'll have x times x is x squared plus negative 4x plus 4x. That'll be plus 0x, so that'll once again disappear. And 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. So the pattern with this is that when you have both numbers here the same, but one's plus the number and one is minus the number, you're going to end up with 0x. So because of that, there is another formula, which I basically just described. It is a plus b. Now, before we had a plus b squared, which would be a plus b times a plus b. Now, it's a plus b times a minus b. Instead of both being positive, which would be the same thing squared, one is plus and one is minus. And this very simply equals a squared minus b squared. So this is another very helpful shortcut formula. So now let's use that to quickly solve something like this. 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. This is 2x squared is 4 times x squared minus 1 squared minus 1. Of course, you can also have the minus first, 3x minus 2 times 3x plus 2, but that doesn't matter. 3x squared is still 9x squared minus 2 squared minus 4. And if you have a number out in front, you know to keep that separated until the end. So this is negative 4 times 5x squared is 25x squared minus 6 squared minus 36. And now we multiply everything by negative 4. We get negative 100x squared. Negative 4 times negative 36 is plus 144. All right, let's just do two more. With this one, you should recognize that you can expand it right from here, but it would be equally fast to just, since it's the same thing twice, when they're both positive, you have 4x plus 3 times 4x plus 3. It's the same thing, so we can put that as 4x plus 3 squared. And now with this one, it is a squared, so 16x squared plus 2 times 4x plus 3 plus 24x plus 3 squared plus 9. So that was one that we did before. And if they're both minus, then we know what that is as well. Anytime it's the same thing, it's just squared. 3x minus 7 times 3x minus 7 is 3x minus 7 squared. So this will be 3x squared. 3x squared is 9x squared. Minus 2 times 3x times 7 is minus 42x. And 7 plus 7 squared is plus 49. So these two were both examples that we did previously. If they're both positive or both negative, then you can put it in squared form and use this formula. If one is positive and one is negative, then you use this formula. So with these two formulas, you can get a lot of expanding binomials done a lot faster.